Welcome back, everyone. We love to explore all kinds of interesting things on this show.
We do.
And today we are diving into something that I think a lot of people are curious about.
Yeah.
It's this idea of quantum hypnosis and manifestation.
Okay.
And to really, wrap our heads around it, we're going to be looking at this guided meditation by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh, interesting.
Now, I'll admit, when I first heard about this, it sounded a little out there.
Right.
But, once you start digging into the concepts, it gets pretty fascinating.
It really does. It kind of makes you question everything you thought you knew about reality.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the first things that struck me about Dr. Dispenza's meditation is this breathing pattern he uses.
Oh, right.
It's like inhale for 4, hold for 4, and then exhale for 6.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I don't know about you, but even just trying that out for a few minutes, I felt like instantly calmer.
Well, there's a reason for that. Controlled breathing, it's not just like some mystical thing.
Right.
It actually has a very real effect on your nervous system.
Interesting.
When you slow down your breath like that and you focus on that rhythm, you're basically calming your nervous system down.
I see.
It's almost like shifting your brain into a more receptive state.
Oh, I like that, like shifting gears.
Exactly.
So, okay, you're breathing, you're relaxed, and then the meditation guides you to picture yourself surrounded by all this shimmering energy.
Okay.
Almost like you're bathing in these tiny particles of light.
Yeah.
And this is where Dr. Dispenza brings in this idea of the quantum field.
Right.
Now, I gotta be honest, that part still kind of mystifies me.
Yeah, it's a tough one to grasp.
What exactly are we talking about here?
Well, the quantum field, it's kind of this concept that bridges science and spirituality.
Okay.
Think of it as this invisible field of energy.
Okay.
Where everything exists as pure potential.
So anything is possible in this field?
Well, in theory, yes. And the fascinating thing is quantum physics suggests that we, as observers, might actually play a role in collapsing those possibilities.
Wait, so you're saying just by observing something, we're influencing it?
That's the mind-boggling thing about quantum mechanics.
That is mind-boggling.
It's like reality is this wave of possibilities.
Okay.
And it's our observation, our focus, that kind of nails it down into one specific outcome.
Okay, that's a lot to wrap my head around.
It is.
So in the meditation, once you're kind of in this quantum field, Dr. Dispenza has you picture yourself stepping into this boundless space.
Right.
It's like time and space don't exist.
It's like a blank canvas.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
So what happens next? What do you do in this space of infinite potential?
Well, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Dr. Dispenza guides you to visualize your goal or your desire like it's already happening.
I see.
And he really stresses the importance of using all your senses to make this visualization super vivid.
So you're not just seeing it, you're like feeling it, hearing it, smelling it.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Because the more real you make it in your mind,
yeah,
the more your subconscious starts to buy into it.
So for example, let's say I'm picturing myself achieving this big goal.
Okay.
I shouldn't just see myself standing there. I should feel the weight of the award in my hand, hear the crowd cheering.
Yes, exactly. And imagine the smell of the flowers someone might have given you.
Oh, wow.
It's about making it a full-blown sensory experience.
Gotcha. So I'm feeling the energy of my dream life. And then in this meditation, you encounter this glowing version of yourself who has already achieved everything you want.
That's right.
So who is this glowing figure?
Well, you can think of it as your future self.
Okay.
The version of you who already embodies all the qualities and experiences that you're aiming for.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's about tapping into their energy, borrowing their confidence.
So it's not just about seeing the outcome, it's about becoming that person who achieves it.
Exactly. You're bridging the gap between your current self and your future potential.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that can be incredibly powerful.
It can.
Because it's like you're accessing that energy right now in the present moment.
I love that. But hold on, is it all just visualization or is there something more to it?
Well, there's another crucial element that Dr. Dispenza really emphasizes.
Okay, what's that?
And that's the role of belief.
Belief.
It's not enough to just passively visualize. You have to cultivate a genuine belief that this reality you're picturing, that it's actually possible.
Okay, but that's the hard part, right? Like seeing it in your mind is one thing, but actually believing it, that's a whole other challenge.
Absolutely. And that's where the power of repetition comes in.
Ah.
And this is how Dr. Dispenza connects the meditation to this concept of neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity, that's the brain's ability to change and rewire itself, right?
That's right. You're essentially training your brain to believe in this new reality.
So the more I practice this visualization, the more my brain starts to accept it as a possibility.
Exactly. You're creating new neural pathways, new connections.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that can have a huge impact on your thoughts, your behaviors, and ultimately on your experiences.
So we're rewiring our brains, becoming our future selves, and hanging out in the quantum field.
And sounds like a wild Tuesday night.
Right. But there's one more thing that Dr. Dispenza talks about that I want to touch on.
Okay.
He really emphasizes this feeling of gratitude.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Where does that fit into all of this?
Well, it's like this, in the meditation, you get this gift from your future self.
Oh.
This gift is like symbolic of that reality you're trying to create.
I see.
And you're supposed to accept this gift and feel this deep sense of gratitude, like for the transformation that's already happened.
It's like you're getting a little preview of what it feels like to actually have that thing you want.
Exactly. And that feeling of gratitude, it's super powerful. Well, it kind of shifts your energy, aligns you with your desires.
Okay.
It's like tuning your internal radio,
To the right frequency.
Exactly. The frequency of your dreams.
I like that. But Dr. Dispenza really stresses that you gotta practice this meditation regularly.
He does.
Is it like building a muscle?
Yeah.
The more you do it, the stronger that connection gets.
That's a great way to think about it.
So, we've talked a lot about this quantum field,
We have.
but I still feel like I'm only grasping it like on a surface level.
It's a pretty deep concept.
It is.
Yeah.
How does it actually work?
Well, the quantum field, it's this idea from quantum physics.
Okay.
It's seen as the fundamental ground of existence.
It's a ground of existence.
Yeah, it's where everything exists as pure potential before it becomes, real.
Okay.
It's not something you can see or touch,
Right.
but it's thought to be the source of all matter and energy.
So it's like the blueprint for the whole universe.
That's a good way to put it.
Wow. And so the idea is that we can somehow tap into this field and influence it.
Well, that's where things get really interesting and a little bit controversial.
Okay, how so?
You see, in quantum theory, particles in this field, they don't exist in a fixed state until they're observed.
Oh, right. That's where the observer effect comes in.
Exactly. It's this idea that the very act of observing something can influence its state.
Wait, so you're saying just by looking at something, we're changing it?
Well, not in the everyday sense, but on a quantum level, that's the idea.
That's wild.
It is. It suggests that our consciousness, our attention, can actually have an effect on reality.
Okay, I can already hear some of our listeners saying, hold on, that sounds a bit far-fetched.
I get that. It's definitely pushing the boundaries of what we traditionally understand about reality.
So where's the line between, scientific fact and, speculation?
That's the million-dollar question, right? There's still a lot we don't know about consciousness and its role in the universe. But there is growing evidence suggesting that the mind-body connection is far more powerful than we used to think.
Even if we put aside the whole quantum physics debate for a second,
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated by the mind-body connection. It's like you can't deny the impact that our thoughts and emotions have on our physical well-being.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. When you're stressed, you get tense, right? Your heart rate goes up.
Exactly.
And on the flip side, when you're happy and relaxed, your body feels it too.
It does.
And there's actual scientific research that backs this up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For example, there are studies showing that practicing things like mindfulness and visualization, they can actually change the structure and function of your brain.
No way.
It's true. They found that it can lead to increased gray matter in areas of the brain associated with self-awareness,
Yeah.
with emotional regulation.
That's incredible.
It is.
So even if we can't, magically manifest a winning lottery ticket with our thoughts,
Right.
there's still a lot of power in using our minds to create positive change.
Absolutely. And, that's a big part of what Dr. Dispenza is getting at.
It's not just about wishful thinking, it's about actively using our minds to shape our experience.
Exactly.
So I guess the question is, how far does this ability to shape our reality actually go?
That's a great question. And I think it's something we're still figuring out as a species.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that we don't exist in a vacuum, right?
What do you mean?
Well, there are countless factors influencing our life, things we can't control.
Oh,
External circumstances, the choices of other people.
it's not all about just our thoughts.
Right. Manifestation, it's not about controlling every little thing that happens to us.
Okay.
It's more about aligning yourself with your desires
I see.
and then taking inspired action.
So it's not just about sitting back and wishing for things to happen.
Sure.
It's about putting in the work, but with a clear vision in mind.
Exactly. It's about using the power of your mind to guide your actions.
Okay, now I know there are some people out there who are hearing all this and thinking, this is all a bunch of hooey.
Oh, I'm sure.
What would you say to the skeptics?
I'd say that's okay.
Yeah,
A healthy dose of skepticism is a good thing.
it is.
It means you're thinking critically.
Right.
But I'd also say approach it with an open mind.
Okay.
Maybe try some of these techniques yourself and just see what happens.
Like a personal experiment.
Exactly. See if you notice any shifts in your thinking, your energy, maybe even the opportunities that come your way.
Because even if you don't fully buy into the whole, manifesting your reality thing,
Right.
there's still a lot to be gained from cultivating a positive mindset.
Absolutely. Focusing on what you want, taking action towards your goals.
I love that. It takes the pressure off.
It does.
It's not about getting it right. It's about the journey.
Exactly.
It's about personal growth
Yeah,
and discovering what you're truly capable of. It's like the real magic is inside us.
it is. It really is.
Not out there in the world.
Yeah.
It's about transforming ourselves.
That's it.
And that changes how we experience everything.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, after this deep dive into Dr. Dispenza and quantum hypnosis,
Yeah.
I'm just in awe of what our minds can do.
Me too.
It feels like we're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, absolutely. We are.
There's so much more to explore.
There's so much more to discover about the power of our minds.
For our listeners who are, really intrigued by this whole idea of manifestation
Right.
and the power of the mind,
Yeah.
where would you suggest they go from here?
Well, they've already taken a great first step by listening to this deep dive.
Oh, thanks.
But from here, I'd recommend checking out some of the pioneers in this field.
Oh, like who?
Well, people like Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Deepak Chopra, Lynn McTaggart.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of those folks.
They've done some really fascinating work on the science and spirituality of this stuff.
And of course, there's always meditation.
Yes, meditation is key.
There are so many different techniques to try.
There are guided visualizations, breath work, all sorts of things.
What's your advice for people who are new to all this?
Just be curious, experiment, try different things, see what resonates with you.
Yeah, like a personal journey.
Exactly.
And pay attention to how your thinking changes, your energy shifts.
And notice any synchronicities that might start popping up in your life.
Ooh, synchronicities.
Yeah, those little meaningful coincidences.
I love that.
It's like we're all explorers,
Yeah.
charting this inner landscape, discovering hidden potentials.
And who knows what we'll find?
That's the exciting part.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into quantum hypnosis and manifestation.
It's been a good one.
It really has. We hope you've enjoyed exploring these concepts with us.
Me too.
And for everyone listening, remember,
Yes.
keep an open mind, embrace the power of your thoughts,
That's it.
and keep diving deep into the mysteries of life.
Until next time.
Thanks for joining us.